Sally Faulkner, 60 Minutes, Ali Elamine, and most importantly, Lahela and Noah. You know the story. Father takes his kids on a 3-week holiday to Lebanon and tells his ex via Skype once they get there that the kids are never coming back. With 10 months of no contact from the children, not being able to contact them at all, Sally Faulkner accepts an offer from 60 Minutes to help organise a recovery operation. It goes pear-shaped, everyone involved ends up in prison, and Ali Elamine ends up with full custody of the children and $500,000 for his trouble. And then nothing. No contact from the children, no contact allowed from the mother, birthdays, Christmases, everything in between. Nothing. Sally Faulkner is trying to raise funds to mount a legal challenge in the Lebanese courts to gain access to her children. But she's been left to do this completely on her own. Oh, she has supporters. Mostly other mums like me, but resources that we can spare to help run into the hundreds. And let's face it, an international legal challenge is going to run into tens, if not hundreds of thousands. So what can be done to help Lahela and Noah have their mother in their lives? Well, I've done all, well, possibly all, probably not all, but all that I can think of to do. I've written to government on all sides of government. I've written to millionaires, to billionaires, even written to the family of the father in Lebanon and his circle of friends via social media. Even had one of his mother's friends message me back and she attempted to speak to the family on Sally's behalf, but they shut her down and wouldn't even listen to her. But apart from that, and obviously donating what I can to Sally's GoFundMe page, but apart from that, what can ordinary folk like me do to help these 2 young Australian kids have their mother in their life? I even received a response from, just one response, from one multimillionaire who I bothered. Unfortunately, this person said that while they sympathise with the issue, their hatred of the legal fraternity outweighed their sympathy and compassion and couldn't therefore contribute any funds to any kind of legal operation. So what's next? Where's the guts? Where's this fury, especially from the Australian government? Where's the angst at 2 kids being held against their will and against the will of their mother in a foreign country? Why is our government so unwilling to do anything to lobby the Lebanese government on their behalf? This is the same government that withdrew our ambassador from Indonesia after the execution of 2 drug smugglers. Now, please understand, I'm in no way condoning capital punishment. I think that's abhorrent, but the point I'm trying to make here is that our government showed there that it does have the balls to do something in protest when it feels strongly enough about something, when it feels that an issue is important enough to it. Well, aren't 2 Australian kids important enough to it? Imagine, if you can, and some of you probably can, the grief of a young child whose mother has died. Such a horrid thing for a young child to have to face. Well, that kind of pain, that kind of grief is being inflicted on Lahela and Noah every single day that they're being kept from their mother, that they are being denied any kind of contact from their mother. No phone calls, no letters, no photos. Nothing to let them know that their mother loves them and wants nothing more than to share their lives with them. When their father is slowly ensuring that their mother is slowly being erased from their lives. Where's the surfing community in all of this? Where are the pro surfers? Knowing that Ali Elamine is so devoted to surfing, he spends every day at the beach in his business, Surf Lebanon, espousing the wonders of stand-up paddling and learning how to surf, but denies the most basic of rights to his own children, the right to see their mother. I'm reading off my notes in case you're wondering about my sideways glances, because I want to try and get as many points as I can across. But where's the fury? Where are the social justice warriors who scream at the latest indiscretion against PC? Where are the influential voices in the media who could, if they chose to, keep this issue alive in the public arena and pressure the government into at least doing something, if not at least talking to the Lebanese government? Hey, where's the hashtag? Remember the Australia Day kerfuffle that happened over that billboard that was deemed too unsafe to keep showing? The people who put it up there took it down again because of some ugly threats that were being made, and that was horrible. But you know, go social justice and hashtags galore, and a GoFundMe page was raised to put the billboard back up again, and it did get back up again with over $100,000 being raised in a couple of days. And it kind of makes me wonder how we can organise 100,000 Ks for a billboard, and Sally Faulkner's GoFundMe page to try and raise some legal funds to fight for her kids is having trouble at getting $20,000, and it's been up for months. Any social media talents out there who might want to help this cause? So yeah, where's the fury? Look, you might be asking, who is this weird bespectacled woman in my face fighting the fight for people she doesn't know? Well, I'm nobody in particular. I'm just a mum living in a ordinary, average country town. But I know that my kids have what Sally's kids don't. And that's the love of both parents in their lives. Well, Sally's kids have the love of both parents, but they don't have the presence of both parents in their lives. And that's wrong. It's just wrong. Where's the fury? Where's the compassion? These are Australian kids, and they should have their Australian mother in their lives. They have a right to have their Australian family in their lives. They have an Australian grandmother. They have Australian aunts and uncles and cousins, siblings who love them. So where's the rage? Why can't we spare some for Lahela and Noah to try and bring them home, to try and give them their mother back in their lives? Why doesn't the government think that they warrant some care? You know, after the whole debacle of the failed recovery attempt, Australian embassy officials went to the home of Ali Elamine to do a welfare check because their mother wanted to know that they were okay. Ali Elamine told them to F off and slammed the door in their face. This is the contempt at which the father is regarding the Australian government and the Australian side of his children. These are two little Australian-born children who spent the majority of their lives here in Australia, who trusted their father, who used to be their hero, to take them on a 3-week holiday to see their Lebanese family. Their Lebanese grandma, their Lebanese grandfather, their cousins. They would have fun. And then they would go home full of stories and pictures and exciting tales to tell about their time in Lebanon, which was going to be a yearly event. They were going to go to Lebanon for a holiday every year, as was formulated in a custody agreement informally between Ali Elamine and Sally Faulkner. They agreed that the children would be raised in Australia and holiday in Lebanon once a year. This was the first of those holidays. But the father that they trusted lied. The father that they trusted never brought them back. What more can I say? This is a tragic case, but it's made all the more tragic by the fact that it doesn't have to be this way. These children can have both parents in their lives. These children can have a full multicultural upbringing full of wonderful experiences, except for the fact that they're not allowed to by their father. And with no assistance from their government, their own government of their birthplace, who should have more care for its citizens than it does. Let's face it, it showed more care for a couple of drug smuggling criminals than it does for 2 Australian kids. I don't know what this video means to you. All I know is I had to do something and say something. Take from it what you will, do with it what you will. Pray for Lahela and Noah.